I have been doing well with changing my habits, losing weight, lifting weights. Very proud of myself. I struggle with two friendships I have. Both friends have weight to lose. No matter how well I do, neither friend will ever compliment me at all. Yet they tend to point out negatives in many other avenues. Sounds childish, but it's hurtful. When I weigh in and have a loss, I don't mention it because I know it's not well received. How to deal with jealousy. All right. So this is going to probably sound like a little bit of a different answer than probably what you would think I would suggest, but I really want to point this out. I want to say it was this Monday show or last Monday show. I did a coaching call with a lady who had lost weight, regained it, and wanted my help in losing it again because one of the things that she struggled with was compliments during the weight loss process. When she hit maintenance, they stopped and she didn't know how to deal with that. That's a very uncomfortable feeling for a lot of people. They get a lot of accolades when they're losing, and then once they get to that being their new normal, this is them maintaining now, they stop getting the accolades, and then they tend to slide backwards because they really actually fed off of those positive feedback messages, those attaboys, those high fives, those I'm really proud of you. And the weight loss is really just a vehicle to get recognition, to get that feedback that we're seeking in our lives, right? So, what I would actually tell you as a coach and somebody who works with people all the time around this, I would actually be extremely thankful to your friends for not bringing up your weight loss, for not giving you the feedback that you kind of deep down inside are looking for. And here's why. One, eventually it will go away. So, the less of it you're getting now, the less of an adjustment you're going to have when you're in maintenance. The other thing is that if your friends are just gushing over you because of your weight loss, and then you have a period of time where you think you're at your maintenance cal or your maintenance weight, and you go up 10 or 15 or 20 pounds, which is very normal, happens to a lot of people. You might feel because they were so noticing every pound you lost and they were giving you the high fives and they were noticing that they might really be aware of the fact you've gained back 10, 15, or 20 pounds. And it makes you feel really uncomfortable to be around them because you don't want them to notice it. So you kind of distance yourself from them because you don't want that to be a reminder of the fact that you're not at your goal weight anymore. So what I'm saying about this is why do people avoid going back to their weight loss support group? Why do they avoid people who are hyper aware of their body? Because they maybe are going through a phase where their weight isn't where it necessarily was at one point and they feel a sense of embarrassment, shame, and they don't want to see those people. But if those people never made a big deal to begin with, you're going to be more willing to be around them because you don't feel like it was a big deal to begin with. So you have two reasons to be thankful. One, less to adjust to. Two, your friendship is not built on the slippery slope of them noticing everything about your body and saying things about you that might then later on make you feel extremely uncomfortable if your body were to change. And keep in mind, your body will change as you age and go through menopause, as you choose to have children and go through pregnancy. Your body will not be the same as it is today. And just feeling like everyone is super hyper focused on your body can make you really uncomfortable. So there's two reasons to be really thankful for what they're choosing to do. The other thing you want to do is change the story about your friends. You mentioned that they both had weight that they were battling with. You don't know how deep those wounds go and what all happened. For example, if somebody had an eating disorder and they received treatment for said eating disorder, whether it be binge eating, anorexia, bulimia, any of those things, they're actually talked to in therapy about not focusing on people's bodies, not discussing things like weight change, and that seems very odd to us if we've never gone through that process, but they really do need to distance themselves from that kind of body focused talk. Now, your friends may or may not have gone through that experience, but I always like to go on the assumption they did because I don't know everyone's skeletons in their closet. I don't know what they've gone through to get to where they are today. And the weight that they're carrying might be a side effect of the fact that they've been dieting in the past. They ended up with an eating disorder and they finally got what they call weight restored. And now they're actually trying to avoid conversations about weight and weight loss and things of that nature just because they have to protect themselves. Has really nothing to do with you whatsoever. So by changing that story in your head and saying, huh, maybe it's not about me. Maybe it's not about my weight loss. Maybe this is something that they're struggling with in a totally different way that I couldn't even possibly imagine. And you know what? Maybe it's better. I should be thankful we're not discussing this. Now, what kind of made my spidey sense tingle is you said that they point out other things that are negative in other avenues. Now, this is all going on the assumption that these are true friends. These are people who actually care about you. They want to produce and give to you just as much as you give to them. That they are not just takers in a relationship, they're also givers. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who never brings goodness to your life, never notices the good that you do, never says, "Hey, I noticed you've been out walking a lot lately. You're getting a lot of good physical movement in. You're making these positive, healthy habit changes. Or you know what? You got that great raise at work the other day. I know you work so hard for that." If you don't have friends that are in your corner supporting you, I would ask, why are they your friends? If you are not getting anything of value out of that relationship. Now, you might think to yourself, but Heather, I am getting things of value. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. Well, then great. Focus on that. But just remember, if you're in a relationship where you're giving, 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 and you're being the one that's being positive and you're watching out for your friends and you're not getting it in return, part of your weight loss journey might be shedding dead weight friends that aren't giving you anything in return for the friendship you're giving. A friendship is a two-way street. There should be give from you and give from them and take from you and take from them. And it should be fairly balanced over the course of the 10, 20, 30 years that you're friends. It doesn't mean it has to be pro quo, but just meaning that as you guys go through different ups and downs in your journeys, you are there for each other respectively. If these friends are not those kinds of friends and you feel like deep down they don't really want to support you in anything you're doing, and it's not just the weight loss thing, it's everything, then I would beg the question, why are they still part of your everyday life? And it doesn't mean you have to cut them cold turkey, but it might mean that you just start to say no to a few of the things you guys do together. Back out slowly, have a little less conversation. And honestly, there is another thing I want to throw out, which is this idea that if you've got this going on in the mo with your life, and this is not there's always a select group you should share these kinds of things with. This particular area of your life, weight loss and health, this might not be the correct audience for that discussion. You mentioned that they struggle with it. This might be a really sensitive subject for them. So I would just say these aren't the friends that I share that specific information with. I might share it with a totally separate group of people. And maybe this group of friends are the ones that you share things about your career or your family or some other kind of big hobby goal that you got going on that's totally separate. And it's called selecting the audience that you share. Not all audiences are worthy of everything that you've got going on. One, they might have their own baggage. Two, they just might not get it, and that's okay. But you have to know and be very selective as to who you open up with. It's the Brene Brown, which is making sure that whoever you share your story with has earned the right to hear it. If there's somebody who hasn't earned the right to hear that part of your story, don't share that part of your story. And don't be afraid to just say, these aren't the people that I share that with. So that's how I would handle this idea of jealousy from others or friends that don't seem to want to comment or compliment your weight loss.